Namo Amitabha Buddha. Hello everyone. So I received a few comments about am I mixing Jesus teaching with Buddhism? Is this like a mix of biblical teaching with Buddhism? Okay, so I like to make a video to address the difference between Christianity and Pure Land Buddhism, as this seems to be a common misunderstanding. So for Pure Land practitioners, we recite the name of Amitabha Buddha to seek rebirth in Amitabha Buddha's Pure Land. And a lot of people could think, okay, Amitabha Buddha is like God, and we seek rebirth to a heaven called Pure Land. So this could be common for people who do not have much understanding of the Mahayana teaching. So first of all, I'm definitely not mixing any biblical teaching or Jesus teaching with Buddhism. Buddhism actually is much earlier than Christianity, including the idea of Pure Land, which it originated in India and later it spread into China. And the Pure Land and Amitabha Buddha are talked about in details in lots of Mahayana sutras. It's said about 290 Mahayana works that mention about Amitabha Buddha and the Pure Land. So Pure Land Buddhism is a proper branch of Buddhism that is entirely based on the Buddha's teaching, based on Mahayana sutras. And this is also the most popular branch of Buddhism that is practiced in East Asia, such as countries like China, Japan, Korea, etc. And secondly, Amitabha Buddha is not God. No Buddha claim that they are God. So when I talk about God, I mean as an external creator absolute, or like this personal God that actually creates everything and governs all. So some religions, they believe that there is an external creator absolute that actually creates everything and governs all. So in Buddhism, we do not believe there is actually an external creator absolute that actually creates everything and governs all. Amitabha Buddha is not a god like that. Amitabha Buddha only creates his Pure Land, which is manifested from his perfect enlightened mind and his great vows. He did not create our world that is full of suffering. He did not create any of it. He did not create all the wars, poverty, all the sufferings that we experience in this world. If there is an external creator absolute who actually creates everything, then does this creator absolute God also creates all the sufferings, all the conflicts, all the wars, poverty, just all kinds of sufferings that we experience here? If so, where is the love and compassion of this God? And if the external creator absolute is so powerful that he has the ability to create everything, then he must also have the ability to change everything. And why doesn't he reverse all the sufferings here? Why do people have to suffer here on earth? So in Buddhism, we do not believe that there is actually an external creator absolute God who actually creates everything and governs everything. So in Buddhism, if there is anything that creates everything, it would be our mind. We create our own heaven and hell. So our mind is our God, if you like to think of it that way. Our mind is like a projector that projects or manifests the reality we live in. And if we want to change our life, we actually need to change our mind, change our thoughts, our speech, and our actions. So in Buddhism, we say things arise due to causes and conditions, with the nature being emptiness. So the nature being emptiness means that there is no permanent fixed nature attached to it. Things can change when different causes and conditions have changed. So in Buddhism, we do not say that there is an external creator absolute that actually creates everything. So Amitabha Buddha is not God, neither Shakyamuni Buddha claim he's God, or any Buddha claim they are God. So the word Buddha means a completely enlightened, completely awakened being who has realized the truth of life and the universe. And the Buddha told us that the Buddha nature is within all sentient beings. And if anything, the Buddha wants all of us to be like a Buddha, to be completely awakened to the truth of life and the universe. If anything, the Buddha tells us that our mind creates everything. What we think, we become. So if there is God in Buddhism, it would be our mind. We create our heavens and hells. Our current life situation is also manifested through our mind. And next, the Pure Land is not another heaven. This I've explained in the previous video. So in Buddhism, we talk about the 6 realms of reincarnation. Heavens, asuras, humans, animal, hungry ghost, and hell realm. So the heaven realm is only one realm in the cycle of reincarnation. Although beings in the heavens, they really enjoy tremendously long lifespan, and lots of beings in the heaven think that they actually have eternal life. And the Buddha says this is not true. There is still an end to it, and after that they still have to again reincarnate in the cycle of reincarnation and likely to fall in the lower realms. So there are also beings in our world that remember their past lives were from the heaven. So the heaven realm is still one realm of the cycle of reincarnation. It's not eternal yet. Whereas the Pure Land is completely outside of the 6 realms of reincarnation. The Pure Land is not another heaven. The Pure Land is like the Buddha's land. The Buddha created through their perfect enlightened mind and their great vows, and they are completely outside of the cycle of reincarnation. So the cycle of reincarnation is still created by our illusion mind. For unenlightened beings, when we go through the cycle of reincarnation, we feel they are real. But for enlightened beings, how they can actually transcend the cycle of reincarnation is because they are no longer attached to any illusions. So they have already completely cut off of their ignorance, their attachment to illusions, and that is why they are free from the cycle of reincarnation. Whereas for unenlightened beings, because we are not free from our ignorance, our attachment, our default mental states, and hence we create this cycle of reincarnation, and that's why we are being trapped in the cycle of reincarnation. So the Buddha taught about how beings can trump the cycle of reincarnation, to trump this repeated birth and death in the cycle of reincarnation, which is full of endless sufferings. So usually one has to realize enlightenment in order to exit the cycle of reincarnation, whereas the Pure Land path is an easier way, as we rely on the power of Amitabha Buddha, the vow of Amitabha Buddha, a perfect enlightened Buddha, to help us, to deliver us first to his Pure Land, and from the Pure Land we will be able to realize in the perfect enlightenment. And then we also have the capacity to come back here or to go to other worlds to save all sentient beings. And also a comment about how many Pure Lands are actually out there. There are actually also infinite Pure Lands, due to there are infinite enlightened beings, infinite Buddhas. But the reason why we go to Amitabha Buddha's Pure Land first is due to the ease of entry. Amitabha Buddha has the great vows to deliver us to the Pure Land, and this is different from other Pure Lands, where one usually has to attain high level of enlightenment in order to go to the Pure Land. And the third is that Amitabha Buddha really has infinite compassion, in that he would even deliver sentient beings who have committed the worst possible evil deeds. If at the time of death they encountered this Dharma and took the change of heart, and they took refuge in Amitabha Buddha and recite the name of Amitabha Buddha even for 10 recitations, then they will still be received by Amitabha Buddha to the Pure Land. So this is different from Christianity, where beings are aspired to ascend to the heaven. If you want to ascend to the heavens, in Buddhism there are also 28 levels of heaven. In Buddhist sutras there are actually much more detailed descriptions about what each level of heaven look like, and the lifespan and the beings who reside there. So I'll do another video on the Buddhist heavens. So for beings who want to ascend to the Buddhist heaven, one must have commit the 10 good deeds. So if you have committed many evil deeds, then no God will actually come to deliver you to any heaven. So this is different to the Pure Land. Also, the Pure Land accepts all beings. Amitabha Buddha accepts all beings, regardless of what kind of religions or beliefs or other practices you might have practiced. If you are willing to believe in Amitabha Buddha, you believe in the existence of the Pure Land, and you're willing to recite the name of Amitabha Buddha at the time of death, even for 10 recitations, then you can definitely attain rebirth in the Pure Land. So Amitabha Buddha really has infinite compassion and no discrimination towards any being. Amitabha Buddha can actually save all sentient beings and deliver all sentient beings to the Pure Land. And there have really been countless rebirth cases since the ancient time till now, for people who have seen Amitabha Buddha and have also sought rebirth in Amitabha Buddha's Pure Land. Okay, so I hope I've addressed the comments. Namo Amitabha Buddha. Namo Amitabha.